Hey, welcome to another episode of Overlander Trailer. Today we're going to be installing some brakes and hubs as well as our wheels on our trailer. As you can see, there's snow on the ground, but I'm in t-shirt. It's a beautiful day in Central Virginia, probably getting close to 50 degrees. So I thought it would be a good day to go ahead and get some work done on this trailer. So let's get started. So real quick, as you can see, I've actually completed one side of the trailer, added the brake system, the hub, and then the tire. So I'll be doing the same on this side. I don't know how you're going to be setting your trailer up. I don't have a good jack system, so I'm using some rounds off some pine that I had lying around. Seems to be working just fine. So yeah, we're gonna be installing this system on our Timbren axleless suspension. This is a 12-inch never adjust brake from Dexter, as well as a 12-inch hub from Dexter, and then these Westlake 15-inch special trailer tires. As you know from previous episodes, we installed a Timbren axleless suspension system, 3,500 pound load capacity. This is the heavy duty version with 4-inch lift, and it's pretty burly, and it was a lot easier to install when I flipped over the trailer. So then have the trailer flipped back over now, obviously. We're going to go ahead and get started on this side of the install. One quick thing that I'll mention, having done the other side, the first step is to put on the brake assembly, and to do that, it slides on over these 5 bolts on the axle. Really important when you're getting the parts for that. The bolts are not included. It's a 3/8 inch bolt, but it's a UNF, so it's a fine thread bolt. So a lot of if you go to Lowe's or whatever, you need to make sure you're looking at 3/8-24, for example. This is an example right here, and that 24 indicates the thread, the thread length. So this is a fine thread nut. You're going to need that. A 16 or a 20 is not going to work. I know that from experience. So that's just kind of the first thing. I'll keep you updated as we move through this process. But that's it for now. Okay, so we've got our brake assembly mounted. A couple things to point out here. When you put these on, you want to make sure that the magnet is on the bottom. They're also labeled left and right hand, so you want to make sure you put it on the left or right hand side of the trailer, depending on what you're working with. They mount on again with a 3/8 lock washer and 3/8 nut. And outside of that, it's a pretty straightforward process. So next we're going to move on to packing our bearings. What you'll need for that is bearing grease, which you can pick up at most hardware stores, automotive stores, things like that. Okay, so what we've got here is our bearings, our hubs, our grease. We're going to be packing them full of, and then getting the assembly all taken care of. A couple things that you're going to want for this, definitely recommend some gloves, some latex gloves, because we're going to be getting pretty greasy in this process. So you'll want to make sure you have a few pairs of those on hand. Again, you want to make sure you have some grease. We've got our bearings. So what we're going to do is take a big glob of grease, put it in our palm, just like that, and then take your bearing, and you're just going to press your bearing into your palm to really work that grease in between the moving parts until you see it coming out of in the middle here, or inside the actual bearing itself. So we're just going to work that all the way around the bearing until we reach the side where we started, and you'll know that you've got it again when you look in there in the center ring and you see that there's grease coming through. So once you've got that all taken care of, what we're going to do is actually take some grease. It's pretty messy. And we're going to rub it on the inside of our rim or our hub, where this bearing is going to sit. And you want to be careful not to get any grease on the outside of the hub where the brake is going to be you know, applying pressure. Otherwise, you're not going to be stopping anytime soon. So once you've got a fair amount in there, you can go ahead and insert our bearing. Okay, once that's in place, we'll pop these gloves off. And as part of this bearing kit that you get, you're going to get a grease seal, and this is going to go on top of our hub in here, you know, right on top. So that's got to actually go in nice and flat. And so to do that, you're going to take a 2x4 or any kind of piece of wood you have laying around and put it on top of that, and use a hammer and hammer it in place. So we're going to use this 2x4 just to put this grease seal in place. Okay, so once you've got your grease seal in place, it's going to look something like this. So that's the seal, nice kind of flush against that rim. We've got our bearings in there. Our next step is actually going to be to flip this hub over and grease up our smaller bearing that's going to go on this side of the hub, and then we'll be ready to place the hub onto the spindle. Okay, so there you go. We've got the hub on, put the wheel on. Now we're all set to lower our sweet jack, and a pretty easy process. Directions are a little confusing, but you know, I've never done anything like this before, so if you have experience with it, I'm sure it'll be a lot easier for you. You know, take it from me, if someone who hasn't done it, that it's not so bad. Let me know if you have any questions.